to Aunties Talk Sports.
I'm KB. The courts of Indiana raised me, Detroit pays me, and I know ball both on and off the court, so don't underestimate me.
And I'm Jen. Financial statements, I know how to read them. Fantasy sports, I know how to play them. Tough calls, I know how to make them.
Whether you're heading home, headed to happy hour, or just getting ready for another weekend of sports,
we've got you covered with the biggest stories, the hottest takes, plenty of laughs, and just enough friendly debate.
From Detroit to the national stage, if it's worth talking about, we talking about it.
So grab your favorite drink,
pull up a chair,
because this is your sports happy hour.
2 aunties,
2 mics,
all game.
Hey KB, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm recovering a little bit. Had a good weekend. Did a lot of family stuff this weekend, and it was great. My nephew came in town. He moved away last November, so he came to town and did a lot of stuff around his arrival back in town. So that was fun. Yesterday, I haven't seen my family all summer. So over the weekend, I said, look, I need to lay eyes on my family. So a bunch of them came over yesterday and just had food and music and talking and drinking and stuff. And so that was fun. And everybody's excited about the podcast. My sister-in-law says she's put some women onto her friends to listen. And so I appreciate you. Shout out to Carolyn. And then my brother-in-law was like, look, my brother-in-law, Carl, shout out to Carl. He was like, look, Jen, you are sleeping on the Tigers. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, they're about to make the postseason. I said, because, I'm a homer, but I kind of put my Tigers down. And so, yeah, that was my weekend. I'm sorry, how was your weekend?
Well, I just got one question. Did you cook? So what was on the menu for the weekend?
I didn't cook, but we have a favorite spot. Well, I have a favorite spot over near my house that has chicken. And then my girl Tiara, shout out to Jataco. Check them out on all social media platforms. Jataco, Tiara Jaco came over and brought her taco truck and made tacos. And that was my first experience with that. It was great. Very unique. She has her own secret recipe. So everybody check out Jataco.
Yeah, you've been talking. So I feel like I'm a taco connoisseur. I told y'all about why. Remember, because I was raised in San Diego. We won't go. We won't tell the full story. But I got you.
One of my favorite cities.
Right. You mentioned these tacos before, so I'm gonna have to get me some. I don't think that we have a lot of great places for tacos in the city. I like mine when you fry the tortilla shell. I don't like it hard, the hard shell. I don't like a soft shell, but I like it for soft shell fried. That's how my mama makes them. But that's good. That was a theme all weekend, I guess. Family. I hung out a little bit over the weekend with some of my extended family. I brought home a couple of plates. So most definitely had a little bit of ribs, some fried chicken, fried fish, all the fixings. But I was mad because, I be trying to watch my sodium. So the next day, definitely my ankles were swollen.
Whoa.
I was like, trying to keep my salt intake down. But the girls went to Indiana, so they got to see my mom and my sisters. Their dad took them to watch the Fever play, actually the Wings. So I was able to grab some tickets off StubHub. But the youngest flaked out. She was like, I want to spend time with my cousins. I don't want to go to that game. So the third, yes. So the
Cam, come on now.
third ticket went away. She was like, I only want to go if AZ is playing. And so she was injured, so she didn't want to go to the game. But um that was a fiasco because they wanted to wear some Dallas Wings merch. I couldn't get anything in time. And I just felt like it was a missed opportunity for WNBA fans. It's like we need better better outlets to be able to purchase merch. You can't really find it in stores anywhere. You can't do overnight shipping, even on the WNBA website. So it's just really, really limited. I don't know what can be done about that, but need to get the merch to the fans quicker. So,
Mm.
and getting back to,
For what I'm hearing, you say what?
I said, just getting back to the countdown back to school. That's about it.
Oh, yeah, that's fast approaching. Hearing that you're a taco connoisseur, I should have invited you. Uh, Tierra is Mexican, and she
Okay.
she has some secret ingredients. And what she does fry the
That's right.
shells.
That's the best
So
way. Now,
yes,
is she from Detroit?
no,
Because I
we've
also
adopted
heard,
her.
okay, because I heard people in Saginaw also fry the tortilla shell. So it's
No, is she from Indiana? She might be from Indiana.
are you?
I,
That's
I'm gonna have to.
funny.
I'm gonna find out. I'll let you know. But yes, I should have. I should have remembered that you did tell me the story about San Diego. That's one of my favorite cities. I can't forget that one. But
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, my brother-in-law was like, "Yeah, don't sleep on the Tigers," and I kind of have a sleep on the Tigers. I'm sorry, Tigers. I was disappointed when Terry Scubo left, and I haven't really followed, but I'm following. Yeah, like I said, Detroit teams proved me wrong. So the Tigers are yesterday they were in a dead heat with Baltimore and Texas Rangers. They were in a really tight race, but leading the AL Central are the Chicago White Sox, and so everybody's chasing them now in our immediate division. But they can either win our division. The Tigers can either win the division. They're only, I think,
Mhm.
a half game out, or no, 5.5 games out, or they can go in as a wild card. So I'm on Tigers watch. So we'll talk about that more in the coming weeks, and we'll get you to watch some Tigers baseball besides on going on Fridays.
Well, I do. I
We
I
got-
want to. I was looking actually to buy some tickets. I want to buy some tickets and take the girls because I don't. We haven't really. No, we haven't been to a Tigers game this summer. So, definitely
I think
want to
I have
go
either.
patronize. We should find a game and go together. Aunties at the Tigers game.
Yes, we'll be out there interviewing y'all, other aunties. How about that? But yeah, that you know, the Tigers are coming up to the end of their season, but NFL just started their preseason a couple weeks ago or a week ago. You had the Hall of Fame game. Um, I I watched a little bit of the Hall of Fame pregame, and let me just tell you, there was a bunch of chocolate on that screen because they have Mike Tom. They now have Mike Tomlin out there, and he was walking the field and interviewing, and he was sitting at the desk, and Devin McCourty, and you got Maria Taylor, but Devin McCourty and Mike Tomlin, they looked really good up camera. That was a good look. But I watch bits and pieces of the Lions. I don't want to watch preseason football. I don't really like it.
Mhm.
Uh, there's too many. I understand you have to get them in the. I want to say maybe two preseason games, and I'm good. There's too many preseason games, and then the players get hurt. I don't really like it. It's
So,
not fun for me.
didn't they increase the number of preseason games recently?
It's 4 games, but yeah, it's too many to me. Um, too many opportunities for injury. And then you're not really seeing the starters. So,
Yeah, and the schemes.
I understand why they have to do it. They want to get their roster, get the right roster, so they have to see the people play in games. But I'm not a fan of preseason. I'm ready for the season to start. And the Lions, what is their first game? September 13th. Are you ready for the Lions?
Me, I guess as ready as I'm gonna be. I found my Lions sweatshirt, my Lions hat. I tried to find some Honolulu blue sneakers or tennis shoes to match. Honolulu blue is a very distinct color to try to match up, just like that maize and blue. So shout out to Marshalls. And actually, Marshalls had a number of jerseys, like legitimate NFL branded jerseys. Which I don't know if I'm a Jersey girl, I think, or Jersey woman, excuse me, but I feel like you have to you got to get your look down right. So, want to be able to represent the Lions, and I feel like I have another jersey somewhere. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I feel like fall is my favorite season. So I love when the weather gets a little colder. You put on your boots and I think I saw a meme a couple of weeks ago. They said it'll soon be legging and hoodie season. So the leggings with the hoodies. I love it. I love it. I love when it's crispness in the air. It's a little bit cold, but the sun is shining.
Same.
I love going to, the apple orchard. I just love the fall. I love the fall. So
Yeah.
bring it. And,
Fall is
football.
my favorite.
Yeah. Looking forward to Michigan homecoming soon. So yeah, I'm looking forward to football season.
Yeah, fall is my favorite. I misspoke. NFL teams play 3 preseason games, but the teams that play in the Hall of Fame game, I believe they play 4.
Okay.
So, you were talking about jerseys. It's so funny. Sorry. It's so funny. I either have 4 or 5 Lions jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what I was thinking, because I bought some jerseys. I buy jerseys of players that I like, right? So what I also used to have season tickets, so I went to a lot more games than I do now, and so I would wear them. But I have a Louis Delmas jersey. And I don't even know if very many people know who Louis Delmas is. He played for the Lions. He was one of my favorites. He was a wild boy, right? And I'm like, man, I might be the only person who has walking around with a Louis Delmas. No, I might not be, because he was a fan favorite. But the jerseys make me laugh when I think about it. I have a Dominican suit. I have no jerseys of any current players. I gotta get a jersey.
No, Amin Ra. No, but this is, I guess. So, how do you feel like when you buy a jersey and then the player leaves and they're no longer with your team? Because I don't really have very many jerseys, but I don't want to rock somebody's name on the back of my chest and they not with the team. That's why I've never been like into jerseys.
I still will rock them because especially I have a suit, in Dominican suit jersey. He's one of the greatest, He's a GOAT. My favorite I wear all the time is Calvin Johnson,
Yeah. Well, like if you retire, if you ended your career, like you said, you're the greatest. Okay. But I'm just thinking about all the players who was burning them LeBron James jerseys in Cleveland.
We'll see what happens. I'm gonna wear my Louis Delmas jersey. It's probably too big now, but I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna see what happens.
Right, but if you leave a team on bad terms, I don't know if people are obligated to still rock that jersey. I wouldn't.
If I paid money for it, that means I liked you. So hey, I can't be mad. Go get your money.
That's
leave
funny.
for more money.
That's good. Money. You like, I want, so for you, when you purchase a jersey, it's the team and the person, the name, both.
Yeah.
So you got to like the
Yes.
player, and then okay, I'll keep that in mind because
I went. Go ahead.
because I've never purchased a jersey in all of my sports loving time. I've never purchased a jersey. Now I'll rock a t-shirt, I'll rock a sweatshirt. I think maybe I was gifted a Tigers jersey when Cabrera was there, but I've never gone out and bought a jersey. Never. It's just kind of like a
Yeah.
tattoo to me. It's like a tattoo.
Oh, I was gonna say, I got on my Tiger shirt because I was disrespecting the Tigers, so I put on my Tigers Cabrera shirt today. And Cabrera, Miggy, I love you, Miggy.
Now, Mickey. So again, Rock Cabrera, because he is, one of the greatest Tigers of all times. But no, it's just interesting. I need to do a little bit more, maybe reading. I'm interested in just like merchandise trends. Over the past couple years, I've been paying attention, especially for women. There's been a lot of licensing deals and kind of more maybe fashion forward merch. And then was it last year or the year before? I know one of the players from the San Francisco 49ers, his fiance like ended up going viral and
Juice check.
making, yes, and so she
Mm-hmm.
ended up making a lot of I guess team license outfits and jeans and shirts and things for the fashion girlies. Some of the designs I felt it was like a little bit too much, but there's definitely a void and a gap in maybe more gender inclusive merchandise options. But I saw a couple of really cute headbands, but the headbands were like $110. I don't want a Detroit Lions headband that bad, but lots of options now, but not as many as we need for the aunties.
Well, there are some local vendors that do
Mhm.
that. My friend Tiffany, shout out
Mhm.
Tiffany, shout out Beautifully Made. I can't pronounce it. Yes, shout out to Tiffany. She does a lot of like custom stuff, like stuff that you'll ask for, and
Mhm.
whether your favorite team, everything from
That's
sports to
cute.
going to the Chris Brown concert, she'll make you a jersey. She does all of that. So
Mhm.
a lot of local vendors do that now. A lot of women vendors do that because there was not enough
Yeah.
in the marketplace for women. So you're exactly right. But of course, because the NFL and all the other leagues are about their coinage, they are catching on and they're,
Yeah.
making it more accessible or trying to. They're still way behind. They're still way behind.
Yeah, seeing the untapped market. I went to last year. I think I was at Grandmont Rosedale. They had a this is a funny merch story. They had a holiday bazaar, and so one of the vendors there had a really what I thought was a really cute Detroit Lions sweatshirt, and it was like old school, like almost like a cartoon lion. It was like like a throwback sweatshirt. And so I bought it for my oldest for Christmas. And she was like, I hate this. She was like, I cannot believe you bought me this. And I was like, you don't think it's cute? And she was like, no, that lion is horrible. And I was like, I feel like this is so cute. It's like, and so she gave it back to me. She was like, I do not want this. So sometimes the
She gave
vendors,
her a Christmas gift back.
yeah, she was like, Mama, no. So sometimes the local vendors be hitting and sometimes they do not. But I will definitely check out your girl. I guess I've gotten maybe I guess to that certain age because now I just be wanting to put rhinestones on stuff. I was like, that sweatshirt, the
Oh
sweatshirt I bought this
no,
week.
that's auntie.
I know. I
That's
said I done turned 50.
that's real auntie.
I'm
Oh
like, just put some rhinestones on it. But I felt like the sweatshirt that I bought on Saturday was cute, but I was like, I feel like it's missing some rhinestones. So I was gonna find somebody to bedazzle it for me. So maybe that's what your girl can do.
you got some cowboy boots. You probably get
I
some cowboy
do.
boots in it.
I do. I have cowboy boots. I'm trying to think why I bought them. I was going to Beyonce concert and I purchased some cowboy boots. Why are you hating on Beyonce?
Karis, I know you were embarrassed, weren't you?
But I never wore them. I ended up wearing something else. But look, I'm from Indiana. My daddy was a cowboy boot wearing black man. So I grew up seeing my uncles who were from Talladega, Alabama, wear cowboy boots. So I will pull me out a pair of boots. Actually, I was gifted a pair of red cowboy boots 2 years ago for Christmas.
Delta. Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
No, so don't be hating on the
So
rhinestones or the
so if
cowboy
you
boots.
guys see this at one of our pop-ups, you'll know why. Okay.
But I did not
But
like boots on the
yes.
ground. So
So you talked about Juice Check's wife making the bedazzle. We're starting to see a lot more wags in all sports.
mhm.
And there's also a I don't want to call him a hag, but there's a husband of the WNBA, and
Oh
he's
yeah.
gotten very gone viral. But I, I like, there are some wives that I follow, and it made me like the players more. And
Mhm.
not that I didn't like the players; they were some of my favorite players, which is why I knew their wives. But there are two that come to mind. There's Miko Grimes, her
Mhm.
husband Brent Grimes. He's probably he's one of the best defensive backs I've seen. He's very
Mhm.
underrated. People used to sleep on him. He probably could still play right now.
Mhm.
But she became popular because she trashed the Miami Dolphins and
Mhm.
got him out of his contract, and but rightfully so. But and the crowd would give her a hard time all the time. But she became one of my favorite
Mhm.
wags to follow, and would just talk about the game. When he retired, he didn't want to be in the limelight. People were like, are they still married? Just nosy people.
Mhm.
All in their business, but she was one of my favorites. She's still one of my favorites because she's outspoken about the league and the politics of it. She was
Mhm.
on. She's been on with Gilbert Arenas, but another one of my favorites, Nate Burleson's wife, Atoya. She
Mhm.
has a new platform, not a new platform, but a platform that caters to the wags and helps them be involved. And being a former player's wife helps them be
Mhm.
involved in what they should expect, and just creates a community. So I really like that aspect of sports, seeing the wives, the people behind these players that make it happen behind the scenes, raising the family when the players have to move. When you talked about when you buy a jersey and somebody leaves,
Mhm.
there's a lot that has to happen behind the scenes, and the wags are the ones that are keeping it all together. So shout out to the
Mhm.
wags.
Yes, I came across NFL wag Victoria Gibson last year. So her husband played for the Patriots, and Victoria has just blown up. I think she has maybe close to 100 or 200 followers. And what's so funny is like her tagline, I think, is like NFL's funniest wife or something. And so she's hilarious. She is a comedian. She, posts, to your point, all of the behind scenes content. She's his stylist. And so she will go and show herself like trying on the outfit for him, and like walking like him and trying to act like him, like, let me see if he is going to be able to, rock this. But her husband was hurt. Like he got to go to the Super Bowl, but he had suffered an injury, and then he ended up Antonio Gibson. He got cut. Now as a free agent, and she talked about, like, I think their daughter, maybe their oldest daughter is like 7, and so she ended up, being really emotional, crying, like, I don't want to leave Boston. And a lot of fans were like, can you please bring Antonio back because we love Victoria? And so she planned, a couple of like fan experiences for the Patriots home games. People came out. She definitely did like some kind of community service events. So I think it's great, to see, players and their families in different lights. But at the end of the day, it's still a business, right? So they're not keeping you on because your wife has, a large following. So I think that's the downside of it, right? You get attached to another person in the family, but at the end of the day, right, the front office is still going to make the decision based on who they feel, is going to produce and how much it costs. But shout out to, oh gosh, I forgot her name. We just talked about it.
I know we were talking about Penny Sewell's wife, Isabel.
Yes.
Too.
That's what I was talking about, Isabel. And I started watching her because her video went viral. 8 million people were watching her mimic her husband. So shout out to her and to their family. But yeah, I mean, just all the content. But the NFL is definitely trying to cater more to the female fan. And what was it? Last year, it was Cardi B. Cardi B was the WAG, and then the year before that
all
it
he
was
had to
Taylor.
do was win the Super Bowl.
Right. And then the year before that it was Taylor Swift. So it's like we're gonna be on NFL WAG watch. So who will be the WAG of the year for the NFL this year?
Well, the way Travis came back, he's stepped up his conditioning. So they might have a reason to name Taylor Swift the WAG. So we'll see. But
Yeah.
I really love that aspect of it to see it. And it, again, we're aunties, so we're looking at sports from a female point of view, and to see them, the wives that support them is always great.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's a headache too, but it's great to see the it's great to see the fun side.
They make it look easy.
Yes, they do. I think what this weekend too, I watched a lot of, clips and a little bit of games, a little bit of the Hall of Fame induction, a really great class of people who were inducted, Doc Rivers, Kevin Garnett, Candace Parker, a number of people, Shamika Holdscloth. So did you catch any of that?
I did. I also like to see the 1996 Olympic team.
Mm-hmm.
That was iconic. Everybody was talking about a lot of the, everybody was talking about Candace Parker, but my favorite in that class probably was Shamika Holdscloth.
Yeah.
Tennessee legend. They're both Tennessee legends, but she was underrated. She, went through some things when she came to the WNBA, but she was one of my favorites at Tennessee all time. But
yeah,
as much as I talk about Candace Parker in her capacity as an announcer or as a podcast host and an announcer today, and not really feeling some of the angles that she takes, she had a stellar career. She is a legend. I mean, which is why she has, the authority to say the things that she says, and people listen to her. So I will never discount the career that she had, the collegiate career, the professional career, the only rookie of the year and most valuable player of the year in the same year, still to this day. Still, people are still coming for her records. A couple of them have just fallen, and she probably has some more. But won championships with 3 different teams. Can't discount that. I love to see this class, including Mark Few, who put Gonzaga basketball on the map. So shout out.
Yeah, you mentioned Shamika. I feel like her story was so early in the whole conversation about athletes and mental health. I think a lot of people probably weren't paying attention to women's basketball or the WNBA then, but she, for those of you who don't know, once she transitioned into the WNBA, she admitted that she had been suffering from depression for a number of years and also had contemplated suicide, which led to some interpersonal challenges, with her significant others. It's obvious that she's in a better place. She seems to, be healthier and had just a really heartfelt perspective on her journey. And she has shared that about a year ago, she had wrote her speech and had just been sitting on it. And so that was really happy. I was really happy to see her there on stage, and also just the significance for their coach, Pat Summitt, who passed.
I'm very happy now to see Shamika calling games in the WNBA today. So to see them welcome her back, and into the fold has been good for me.
Yeah. And mental health is real, and people need support. They don't need any more shame than they already feel. I also was thinking though about Doc Rivers and his induction over the weekend, and of course you get nominated and voted in based on your entire body of work, right? So Doc was a Celtic, won some championships as a Celtic, and then of course was able to coach the Celtics, back to another championship. But I was also thinking that Doc still gets a little bit of flack for not having won any more championships since he coached the Celtics. So I was thinking, was it just that the Celtics just were some dogs? Because they were, right? I mean, I love Kevin Garnett. He's one of my favorite players. You had Rondo, who was crazy, you know what I'm saying, on the court. But Doc has also had some really talented teams, and he hasn't been able to get it done. So what part of it is what part of the blame, I guess, should he assume? Or do you feel like it's more so the players who ultimately win championships?
It's the players who go out and win it. But, the coach can put in the perfect game plan, and then he has to leave it up to the players to go and execute. A lot of times great coaches put together the best team, and then the next coach comes and wins with the team that they assembled and gets all the credit. But we as fans will say, well, that's the team that the previous coach put together. It's kind of like Tony Dungy in Tampa Bay. He put together the team, and then the next year they went and won the Super Bowl. I don't think a real fan will not discount him not winning the big one. That's like saying that Charles Barkley is not one of the greats because he never won a championship. I just, it's very hard to win a championship.
I mean, it is,
Okay?
but isn't championships though what separates players? I mean, when people talk about Jordan, when people talk
Not to
about
me.
LeBron, so when you be glazing LeBron, you don't be talking about how many championships he won. You don't,
No,
because most
no.
of y'all LeBron lovers do.
I mean, I
But then
talk about the number of championships he won, but not in saying that he's better than anybody, because he didn't win the championship by himself. So
yeah,
no, I don't count the number of championships to tell me how great you are, because some of my favorite players that I think are some of the greatest maybe won one or haven't won any.
yeah, I can't discount winning championships. I mean, for me, and I love Charles Barkley, and I love a number of players who haven't won championships. I love Chris Paul. I wanted Chris Paul. I still want Chris Paul to win a championships, right? A championship. It hurt me that Chris Paul wasn't on the Thunder, because it was obvious that the impact that he had on that young team helped to kind of carry them through. But I was going back and I'm looking, Doc Rivers coached the Clippers. He had the talent. He coached the 76ers from 20 to 2023. He then coached the Milwaukee Bucks 23 to 26. So I'm not saying that coaching, let me think about this. I'm not saying that coaching gets it done, but I think coaching can make the difference. And if you're close.
I guess, yeah, I guess I don't look at it, if I did that, I would be isolating it only to basketball, because I'm thinking about all sports. I think about some of the greatest players in each sport that never won a title. It's very hard, and you play forever to. Let's look at the game today. Josh Allen is probably the top quarterback. arguably the best quarterback, but he just can't win the big one. So if he never wins the big one, will he not be one of the greatest to ever do it?
He can be
I think
one
he
of the
will.
greatest, but he ain't gonna be the greatest, because the greatest, people
Well,
would say, is Tom Brady, and people are gonna point to how many Super Bowl rings he won. So I think you can
well,
be
it's not just the number of Super Bowl. Well, okay. Well, if you're talking about the top one, I still say LeBron. But Jordan won more rings than him. He's my
right, which
top.
is
He's
but
my goal. My
right,
goal.
but that's why I will never say that LeBron is the GOAT, because he don't have as many championships as Jordan. So
See.
I think that you have tiers of greatness. And I think that you can be great, but you aren't the greatest if you don't have as many rings. It's like when Kobe was like
Wow.
when
No, I
Kobe
disagree.
I don't. Kobe was like, everybody is playing for a championship. Everybody is playing for the ring. And if you don't get the ring, or you don't want the ring, or you can't get the ring, right? Then why are you out here? And so I agree with that. It's like people diminish the importance of it, I feel, when they can't get it, or when they don't get it. And this happened
Oh
between
no.
but I think this
Because
happened.
I look at teams, so I would say that in tennis. I might say that in tennis because it's a one person sport. When you're talking about a team sport, no,
But
I
that's
I,
but
I
but that's
disagree.
what separates the good team. So like you talk about a player like Charles Barkley, and this happened last year when Charles Barkley and Draymond Green got into the argument about championships and role players. And so now, right, everybody's trying to diminish Draymond Green's impact and the role that he played on those championships. And he was like, at the end of the day, right, I know what I contributed to those teams, to those Golden State Warriors teams, in order for us to win. Charles, you just saying that because you ain't ever won no championship. And so I think there is a little, if you don't have the ring, if you ain't won, you're gonna always say that it doesn't really matter. But I just think that over the years since Doc Rivers left the Celtics, people have been more critical of his coaching, because he's had some elite teams with some elite talent, and those teams have underperformed.
So I want to ask,
Mm-hmm.
for all so you're saying that nobody should say that Michael Jordan is the GOAT because he won less rings than Kobe?
No, I believe, for me, my GOATs are Kobe and Jordan. LeBron is third. And for me, what separates
You
LeBron
got two
from
goats. Are they co-goats or
no,
like one?
I said
Goat
my
one and two out.
so
Let me
they are
get this
one and
right.
two for me. So when I was younger, my GOAT was Jordan. And then as I got older, my GOAT was Kobe. I don't think that LeBron is on their level. And for me, I think that and I'm going to tell you this, it's funny because when I say this, I feel like it is disrespectful to the legacy of Kobe, Jelly Bean Bryant, when y'all try to skip over him and say LeBron is better than him and has eclipsed Jordan. Where Kobe at? Where Kobe in the conversation? Where Kobe?
He's third. Sorry, he's third.
No,
Um,
but
yeah.
that's what I'm
It
saying. How are you
so
making
by
that?
but by your definition, Jordan cannot be the GOAT.
What I'm saying is that my goats, I can understand people saying my goat, meaning your player, the player that you love, the player that you think is the best of all time. I get that. Right. But again, when people diminish the championships in the conversation between Kobe, LeBron, and Jordan, it's because LeBron don't have as many championships. That's the whole reason
Well,
why people
I'm
diminish
not.
it.
I'm not those people. I don't say LeBron is my GOAT and then shit on Jordan and Kobe. That's not what I do. I don't diminish what they did. They're great. They're great. They're just not my greatest of all time.
Right. And I can respect
I
that.
don't consider them the greatest of all time.
But
I
to me,
consider
you
LeBron.
can't say, so your GOAT can be LeBron. I can understand that. But when people say they believe that LeBron James is the GOAT.
Yeah, and the reason I say my GOAT is because it's all subjective.
That's right.
And nobody, you'll get 10 people, you'll get, let's say 12 people, and 4 people will pick Jordan, and 4 people will pick Kobe, and 4 people will pick LeBron. And we'll debate this until we're blue in the face. And then I'm like, okay, you got it. Because I'm tired. And I'm just going to tell you who my goal is. And
Fine
then
with you. I'm fine with my goal. But I think that bad coaches can lose championships. Maybe that's what I'm saying, right? That at the end of and so over the years since Doc has left, people have started to question whether or not he just had a good team. And so you could have plugged in really any coach to get the Celtics to that championship caliber. And obviously, when the coaching had to make a difference, I'm just saying what some people are saying, he couldn't get those other teams over the humps. Because, I mean, he didn't have some good teams.
How I'm going to look at how long he was there before they.
How long was he where?
At Boston.
So he joined, I'm looking it up now. So he joined in 2013. But it's interesting because he came from the operations side.
Yeah, he was there for 4 seasons. He was there for 4 seasons before they won. So I wouldn't say that he, walked in on a great team and then they won. It took him some time to win.
No, you talking about the Celtics?
Yeah.
No. I'm saying
I'm just
not that he came into a great team. He helped to build it because he was on the operations
that's the goal.
side. I mean, I know I'm not taking anything away from Doc when it comes to the Celtics, but I think people would say that he has underachieved after he coached the Celtics. If you look at the caliber of teams that he had after that.
Well, I guess if you win a championship, everybody suspects you to win that, do that everywhere, I guess. And he was getting paid like he was going to do it everywhere, I guess. So the expectations were very high for him. So I guess he did underachieve. If you got him up winning a championship every year, and lower your expectations, people.
But that's why people hire the coaches, right? Once you won a championship, if they bringing you in, they like, oh, we want you to do that thing here that you did over there.
Right. And we're going to give you all this money to do it, so you better do it. And then they don't do it. Like, oh, you trash. You bust. He's a bust.
Yeah.
Boston was a fluke. That's what they say, But, it's...
But I think the caliber, and maybe a part of it, because people hear the stories now, Kevin Garnett is probably one of sports podcast favorite guests because he's a great storyteller. He's, funny, and he a little off too. But I think at the end of the day, the players and the chemistry and the edge that they had, probably put them over that hump. And if you look at some of those other teams, they ain't really had that edge. You know what I'm saying? Like to be able to go out and really get it. Philly. We didn't talk about Philly till we blew in the face. Injuries to your point, but also I think lacking a little bit of that dog in them. You know what I'm saying? Same way with Milwaukee. They had Bobby Portis at a certain point, but outside of Bobby Portis, So, but one thing that Doc gave to the NBA that nobody can ever discount.
What did you hear?
Guess. What you think I'm gonna say?
Doc Rivers. What did he give? What did he give?
He gave
the raspy voice was.
No, he gave the lowest fade known to mankind.
I knew it was gonna be something crazy, something that only can be. So that's why I said the raspy voice.
That Doc
that's
Rivers.
The first thing you got up there. And at the Hall of Fame, my voice is raspy already. I was like, oh, goodness, here you go.
That fade though on Doc Rivers, I have never seen anybody's hair be so low, but they hairline so intact. I mean, yeah.
I'm about to cut your mic off.
But am I lying? He
We
started it.
not.
He started a
Now I'm not gonna
trend.
be able to unsee it. Why the hell you gotta bring that up? Now I can't
But I'm
unsee
just
it.
saying, he
Oh man.
started a trend. So it was the Doc Rivers. Then he passed the baton on to Chris Paul, right? And then it was like Chris
I love
Paul
Chris
and
Paul.
I do too. It was like Chris Paul and LeBron James going neck and neck for the Doc Rivers, who could do Doc Rivers fade the best. And now we see that they both have kind of transitioned over, and they rocking really the baldies now. But nothing, not taking away anything from Doc Rivers. I've just been seeing those comments that he's an overrated coach. So I wanted to know what you thought.
No, I mean, no. And when you win a championship, to me, you can't be overrated. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little more, gracious, like they.
That's
I
funny.
don't know.
Oh, okay. Well,
Dan
there's
Campbell, if he don't win, he's gonna be overrated because they would. Nah.
they're gonna be like he couldn't get it done. But you know what was funny along those lines is Monte. Is it Monte Willis? Was it Monte who used to play in the Bay? Monte Ellis. Monte Ellis
Monte Ellis.
came out a couple weeks ago and said that basically if you switched him and Steph Curry out, the Warriors still would have won as many championships as they had won.
I don't know, Monte. You want to shoot logo threes like that, like at that rate. See, this is some sports debates I just don't even like to have. Like, why are we even? Why, Monte? Why?
Because some people
Why?
say dumb, some people say dumb-ish. So you know what I'm saying.
Like, for real, just go home. Just shut up. No,
Yes.
stop. I'm not. No, I'm not even going. I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna
Well,
do it.
well,
Do it
Draymond
for the pod.
Green.
Not gonna do it. Huh?
That was a great. That's a classic. But Draymond Green lit him up for saying that.
Yeah, like he just. You trying to be? Why are you trying to be relevant right now? Come on, like sit down. No, I'm not even gonna. No, not doing it. What I
Yeah.
will do is talk about somebody who I feel was underrated at a certain point in his career,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the great Russell Westbrook, who just retired, who just announced his retirement. And, you know that the new retirement is not a press conference; it's a video and all. But I'm gonna tell you something. When we talked about WAGs of the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
Russell and Nina Westbrook are one of my favorite sports couples.
Mm-hmm.
They just seem to have a real genuine, and I don't know what happens off camera, but when I see them either on her podcast or they always take trips together as a family, and he seems to be a real family man. To see them together and the conversations that they have, and it's wonderful to see. But Russell just announced his retirement, so I thought we would talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? I'll come back and talk about some of the career achievements that he had. He's had history, made history.
So a couple things. One, I was not able to recognize Michael B. Jordan's voice. So when people were saying that Michael Jordan narrated it, I was like, Michael Jordan, that ain't what Michael Jordan sound like. I had no idea that it was Michael B. Jordan. So that was like the first thing. Second thing is I think I got a little sentimental when I was just like watching some old clips because I was really trying to think of like what were my favorite Russell Westbrook moments and kind of just who he was as a player. Now, I heard what everyone said, like Draymond Green was like fans, basketball fans suck. I can't say that I was a big Russell Westbrook fan. I enjoyed watching him play, but I wouldn't say like, oh, he was one of my favorites. But I felt like in thinking back on his career and his moments that stood out to me, there was something that felt very familiar to Russell as a player and as a young man in the league. And I felt like he was like the type of young man that you just grow up with, in your hometown, right? Like crazy athletic, full of joy, full of energy, probably gonna get into a little bit of trouble, you know what I'm saying? But
in the hood.
Right, in the hood. That's what I'm saying. In the hood, you know what I'm saying? In the neighborhood.
What did Draymond say? You said Draymond said fans suck. What was that
Yeah,
about?
because he was saying that basically people weren't giving Russell his flowers while he was playing, right? That he was disrespected, he was underrated. Um and so now that he's retiring, right, all of these people coming out talking about how great of a player he was. Um so for me it was just something very familiar. I grew up at the boys club, playing basketball, and you just see boys. You see boys around, shirts off, you know what I'm saying? Playing,
Wow,
they
boy.
right, they wild, they may break out in a fight, they gonna be dancing, cracking jokes, having fun. And so he brought a certain level of exuberance to the game that was very familiar to me. And I don't think I was able to really recognize that until I went back and looked at a lot of his clips. I also love the fact that he was just unapologetic himself and was going to get people straight, okay? In a very firm and unapologetically black way. I love
Yes, he didn't
yeah.
take no. He didn't take no stuff.
No, not at all.
He got a famous meme.
That's right.
You know.
And when
Let
he
me just. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
no, yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to just. If this is what you want to say wasn't, if you want to underrate this, then you have some issues. Okay. He played for 18 seasons, NBA MVP, one-time MVP, 9-time NBA All-Star, 9-time All NBA, 2 first team, NBA scoring championship twice, NBA assist leader 3 times, All-Star game MVP twice. He's a part of the NBA 75th anniversary team. He became the first player since Oscar Robertson to average a triple-double for an entire season. And he did that 4 seasons. 4 separate seasons, he averaged a triple-double in points, rebounds, assists. That's hard. Okay? Only player outside of Oscar Robertson. All-time triple-doubles records. Let's see. Single season triple-double record. And he won Olympic medals in twice. 2010 and 2012. Now, if you call that, if you want to underrate that career, then you have some issues. I mean, no player, he played 18 seasons. No player can, play top level forever. But the amount of accomplishments that he has, and individual accomplishments, I put him up against a lot of other, many, many, many other players. Okay. I want to go back though, because I still say that if they had kept the team together that had
That's right.
Harden, Durant, and Westbrook, so they played together, and they reached the finals in 2012, and then the team broke up. And I still say if they had just run it back, and stayed together, they definitely would have won a championship.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't even be having this conversation, about underrated and all that.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, right? Like, dang, what could have been, what could have, would have, should have. However, it's not surprising to me that they didn't stick together. And because now if you think about what we know about those 3 players individually, right? Their tenure with other teams, what went right, what didn't go right, who is a true leader, who shows up in shape, who, does everything that they're supposed to do off the court to increase their chances of winning on the court. We see that it was some weak links, but it wasn't really about the talent. It was about everything else, right? That goes into winning the championship. But they were
I think
also
they were
very,
young.
that's what I was going to say. They were also very young. They were very young.
Mhm.
Very, very young.
James Harden got traded to the Rockets, and Durant stayed. He
Mhm.
stayed for 4 more years before he went to Golden State. So they were trying to get it, but with losing Harden, that was a big piece. But then Harden went to Houston, and if you remember in the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, was it Rick Allen? Who was the coach? Not Rick Allen because he passed.
D'Antoni.
Mark D'Antoni.
Mhm.
And he said Harden was one of the most gifted players he ever coached. So, I know that if they stayed together, they would have won.
Yeah.
But he branched off, and then later on, Durant went to Golden State and won the championship.
Durant said, "I'm getting me
know,
one. I don't know about the rest of y'all fellas, but I'm gonna get me one."
And I'm getting one stacked. I'm going to a stacked team that's gonna, that I can make sure I get one.
Yeah.
And the other ones, it didn't fare so well.
But they tried to, he and Harden tried to run it back, but they are. I don't like, if I had to compare those three players, I think just in general, I like Russell Westbrook better. Just who he appears to be as a person. I feel like Durant is passive aggressive as hell with his burner account. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Harden I would be jacking up threes, just jacking up threes. You know what I'm saying? And very temperamental. It's like, was it when he was with the Nets, he came in, was it Nets and I think Philly, when he came in right off the summer and was like really out of shape. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that he really bought into the team. I don't think any of them, while they were together, brought into the team aspect. And I think what won Durant his championship was that he came, to your point, into a very strong team culture, right? Where he wasn't really expected to lead, to be that vocal leader.
Right.
But you rattled off all his accolades, but he ain't win no championship.
But he's not anybody's GOAT that I know of.
No. But I just think that it's always an asterisk.
But he's definitely one of the greatest. He's one of the 75 greatest players. And that was before he retired. So,
but it's an asterisk. I feel like it's always going to be an asterisk if you don't win a championship.
No. An asterisk, like, for what? Like, for the GOAT, or for what?
Just
one of the greatest, or what?
Just because I think, again, if you ask all of these players who had a lot of individual accolades, what is the one thing that they regret or they wish that they would have done, they're all going to say they wish they would have won a chip.
Yeah, but I don't think that makes anybody less of a player that they don't win.
It's just like...
there's no asterisk for me. I don't believe in that.
No, it's kind of like the one who got away. So you dating somebody, you could be happily married, and then be like, but you know what? There was this one person that
that's called regret.
No, it's just the reality.
It's called being stupid.
No,
and not realizing
that doesn't
missing
mean
your water when the well runs dry. I don't think so. That's me.
That doesn't mean that you aren't happy, but you like, oh, I met this person 10 years, 25 years ago, and the timing didn't work out, and we dated for 6 weeks, and then we decided to go our separate ways. But who would have known what would have happened if we would have stayed together? There's always a what if.
Why are you thinking about that and you with somebody else? No, bad analogy. See, I'm about to go in on that one. No.
And it's an asterisk.
Oh, well, you wanna go back and find out what that was like? No. Sound like you want to go back. Sound like you might want to go get that old thing back. Sound like you might want to spend some blocks.
It wasn't nothing to get back because it never.
You trying to spin the block? What's going on here?
But it's no block to spin. Old stuff? It's no block to spin because you ain't ever really got to drive it. So just
my.
You gotta edit that out. But I just think that when players themselves look back on their career, if they didn't win the chip they wish they would have had, they still would have done it, right? And that's why. But one thing I will say about Russell Westbrook is that he never really chased the ring, right? As his career continued, he was on the, not the downswing, but the last half of his career, I think he went to teams where he really could contribute and they wanted him to contribute, and they weren't necessarily NBA contenders. They were competitive teams, but he was never just like, I'm going to go wherever. Now, this is what I think Draymond overlooked, is that later on in Russell Westbrook's career, where the athleticism and the first step wasn't as elite, he could have done himself a favor and developed a little bit more of a jump shot. Are you going to disagree with that?
Russell,
Are you going to
Russell, you
disagree
ain't
with
got
that?
to do nothing.
But come on.
Yes.
No, the fact that people were calling him Westbrick was
Did you say develop a jump shot?
Fine tune his jump shot.
Look, after 15 years, at that point, he wasn't about to do all that.
But that's what I'm saying. That's where the criticism came
offered.
from.
He did get offered by Washington for 2 years, I think, this year to go back to Washington, but he just retired. So.
But that's what I'm saying. That's where the criticism came from. The criticism when people called him Westbrick was because he couldn't hit a 5, 10, 15-foot jumper. And so,
well, I think it was mental at that point. Like, I think he was overthinking it and couldn't hit it because just coast at that point.
Well, I'm gonna give your boy LeBron some props here. LeBron wasn't always a good outside jump shooter. He wasn't really a threat from the 3-point line, but he worked on his game. He developed it. He became a little bit better. Back to the basket, fade away, mid-range, 3-point. He worked on his game, his athleticism.
That's what I'm saying. But LeBron's GOAT, and Russell Westbrook's not mentioned in the GOAT. When you're the greatest of all time, you got to do that stuff. Tom Brady used to spend $1 million on his body to try to stay in peak performance.
So you agree
you gotta do that
it was good for LeBron to develop a jump shot, but you was cool with Westbrook. Not Westbrook. Westbrook not developing one.
Because I believe you have the career that you want to have, and what you put into it is what you're gonna get out, and that's what you wanted. I believe that you can do what you want to do, and we will critique you. I'm not gonna call you Westbrook. Like, that's disrespectful.
I do not think so. I feel like I could respect it. Black man, defend your name, defend your kids. I get it. But that wasn't inflammatory.
You have to realize I'm a Cancer. I'm a true Cancer. And we hold on to the past like it ain't nobody's business. So I remember the Westbrook that was in OKC lighting it up. I'm not remembering the Westbrook that they call him Westbrook. So I let him go on,
This is funny. So you got on me about my sequence. You mentioning astrology is very auntie.
Oh, shoot. I could talk astrology all day.
I'm a Cancer. Well, I'm a Leo, yes. Okay? I'm a Leo.
Yeah.
Leos
I'm
are
surrounded
loyal.
By Leos.
Leos are loyal, but baby, I still want you to develop a jump shot. I'm gonna stay with you. But Nina should have been like, come on, baby. She was at UCLA with him. Come on, baby. Let's work on this jump shot. But they're a beautiful couple with 3 beautiful children. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does while he's retired. But you know what the other thing is? That people don't give Russell Westbrook enough credit for was actually introducing, I would say, the tunnel fits.
Tunnel fits.
Yeah, he started really introducing like the elite fashion forward NBA player. You know what I mean? He was really known for fashion before Shai, before Kuzma, before a lot of the younger players. He was always in his fashion bag. I remember do you remember the outfit that he had when he wore like the blue jeans with just the jacket and his shirt off? Do you remember that? Uh-huh. He
Yeah,
was
he
all
always he was the first one. Like, what is he wearing?
That's
He
right.
was the first
Yes.
one that I remember.
Yep. And then he had his fashion line for a minute. So it'll be interesting to see what he does post his NBA career. Do you think that he will do commentary?
Because he seems kind of low key. So I don't know if
Mhm.
he would even want to do that.
Yeah.
I could see like coaching or something. But even though like even coaching younger players, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. That'll be
I'm
interesting.
interested to see what he does too.
Yes,
I
but salute.
haven't seen what he said he was gonna be doing, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure
But
he'll.
they yeah, in the video though it alluded to right the level or the other wing of the house not being finished or not being built, but that would be like the greatest addition maybe to his legacy. So I did watch it. I just didn't know that was Michael B. Jordan. I was like, who is that? Who is that? But I'm trying to think what else happened. Oh, Diana Taurasi talk about goats, right? Uh,
Yeah,
her
smooth ass Diana.
Diana is I mean she is smooth. She just
Pimpstress.
always
That's a
has
pimpstress.
always has always been smooth. But you talk
You
about
saw how you saw how Brittany Griner walked up to her. She was like with the pimp walk
right.
when they
Uh
brought out the when they brought out the roses to her in the
yeah.
post game ceremony in the retirement ceremony.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it was two things. I mean, I think she'll be first ballot Hall of Famer next year because I was kind of questioning the timing, like why do it right now? But I think it's because next year she'll probably go into the Hall of Fame. But I wrote down some of her statistics and accolades. So 20 seasons with the Phoenix Mercury. She's the most decorated Olympic athlete in a team sport. Played college ball at UConn, was a part of their three-peat, with her teammate, her and Sue Bird overlap there. And I think it was also funny. I think Diana was probably one of the first WNBA players to get mad respect from NBA players. Kobe called her the White Mamba. LeBron recorded a video that was played at her ceremony. You had Devin Booker there. Your boy Larry Fitzgerald was in the house. And Vanessa Bryant had recorded a video on behalf of her and kind of Kobe Bryant's legacy. But she also got a lot of flack. She got a lot of flack over the past couple of years. Just, I think people thinking that she was
overstayed
jealous.
her welcome.
Well, I don't know. Maybe overstayed her welcome, but jealous, right? Jealous of new players, jealous of the money that they're making, jealous of the contracts. Um, but I was thinking about it. If you've played 30 plus years, you know what I'm saying? And you've got these stats and you have new players come into the league who haven't done a fourth of what you've done, and now people are saying that they're the greatest of all time. I think you got a right to have a chip on your shoulder. I do.
Well, Diana is a straight shooter, and what she said, I respected. It was she said, "This is the WNBA. Like, it's not gonna be easy. We'll see when they get here." And then when
Mm-hmm.
they got here, everybody they got their. We talked about Caitlin Clark, Angel Reed, I think it
Welcome
was
to the
that
league.
class, and they got their welcome to the league moments. And she was like, "That's all I was saying. Basically, wait till you get here. It's easy to talk all that stuff when you're not here, but this is a real league with
Mm-hmm.
professional players. Don't
Mm-hmm.
come in underestimating us." And they showed them. She said, "See, that's now you see what I was talking about."
Yeah.
And it was who was that that I was just watching, and they said, "Oh, Kelsey Plum." They said, "Kelsey Plum, have you ever been starstruck?" And she said, "Yeah, one time. I loved Diana Taurasi, and I was rookie season. I was playing against her, and Diana said, 'Plummy, how's your family?' And she's like, wow, Diana Taurasi's asking about my family. She's like, they're great. She said she took the ball out of bounds. Diana elbowed her in the stomach, pushed her, and shot. That was her welcome to the W. And she was starstruck, but she welcomed her to the WNBA. So
Yeah.
she's a straight shooter. Says what's on her mind. She was not shy about saying anything. So mad respect to her, but
Yeah. And I love the
yeah.
ceremony. I loved the fact
Yeah.
that they had, teammates, coaches, other people from her tenure there bring her flowers. I just thought that was so classy, so sentimental. And then they announced that she's going to be a part of the ownership group in the next couple of years. But my favorite kind of Diana Taurasi story was about her talking smack to Draymond Green during the Olympics. So a lot of the male players was like, I don't know, they were in transit someplace and talking and laughing, and then they said for some reason, Draymond started chirping, he and Diana, and she basically was like, how does it feel to be the only player here that ain't never got double teamed? And I know Carmelo has talked about this sometimes, a lot of the male players were saying that they really respected her, you know what I'm saying, her game, but the fact that she could talk trash, that she wasn't intimidated, by the NBA players, that's really what I guess solidified her standing for them, is that she was gonna talk her ish too with the best of them. So yeah, a great career, great player.
Yeah. Yeah. It was good to see her go in and see what's next for her. Like you said, part owner, so part of the ownership team, deservedly so.
Yeah.
She's close to the like Devin Booker and close to the other players. So that was good. That was
Yeah.
good to see.
So shout out to Matt Ishabia, Michigan, hometown. Hero,
Yeah,
who's now
Michigan State
owner.
though.
Yeah, who's
Sorry,
owner though
but
of
I like him.
of
Yeah,
the Suns and the Mercury, for
yeah.
a classy move there. Classy move.
Yeah, yeah. The Mercury almost won their game.
Mhm.
That after her, I always hate when a jersey's retired and then the team loses because
Mm.
they retired her jersey and Phoenix
Mm.
almost pulled it out and
Yeah.
almost won that game and couldn't finish it off. But At was mad. She almost won it by herself,
Hmm.
but yeah, they didn't win. But other than that, it was a good weekend. Good weekend for basketball. The legends of basketball. Celebrating the
Yeah.
legends. It's the 30th anniversary of the WNBA. So they've been celebrating them all year. So it's been great to see. Although the WNBA needs to, they're still lacking. It's just like been like one-offs here. I don't know. They should have included the legends a lot more than they have. Like in
Yeah.
every game. I'm talking about every game should have had legends involved in it this season. I'm sorry,
Yes.
but
And I
it's
was
just my
looking
thing.
up her career earnings. So this is what she was talking about, the CBA. So they said Diana earned approximately 1.4 million over 20 years directly from the WNBA.
That's
So
crazy.
when she signed her rookie contract in 2004, her contract was for $40,000. Okay. And then her peak NBA salary was $230,000. But she made approximately $10 million when you factor in her contracts from playing in Russia and Turkey, and that's her endorsements, right? So to your point about her being a part of the ownership team, it's like I helped to build this league, and so I'm gonna be able to get some I'm going to be able to participate in the upside. But a lot of players who helped build the league over the past 30 years aren't going to get that opportunity. You know what I mean? And that's bittersweet. That's a tough pill to swallow,
Yeah, even the new CBA did compensate the retirees with a lump sum payment, but 1.4 over 20 years when the new contracts are 1.4 per year, that's like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Diana walked so others could run.
Yeah. No,
I mean,
yeah.
I do want to touch on one last thing
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like politics is coming into sports with the sale of the Lakers.
Oh, yes.
We could talk more in depth in the next episode when more information comes out because the Lakers were sold for what $12.5 billion
Mm-hmm.
to Josh Kushner. If that name sounds familiar, I'll tell
Mm-hmm.
you why. And Bob Iger, um, head of Disney, and then Josh Kushner is Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law.
Son-in-law.
That's his
Mm-hmm.
brother. That's his brother. So I feel like politics is going to come into the NBA if this happens. But today, Jeannie Buss contested the vote to sell her family's remaining 17.8% share of the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
She was saying that um, she was to remain the team's controlling owner through 2030, according to the agreement she made with Walter. Walter, who's it? What's his name? Bob Walter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Mark Walter. I'm sorry, Mark Walter, who came in and bought the team for what 10 billion,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's going to sell it for 2.5. He's gotten into he's being investigated. So I
Mm-hmm.
think there's a whole Pablo Torre
Waiting to
investigation
happen.
that's coming up because I need to see what's going on with this. They're investigating Mark Walter, the federal government, and now he's selling to at least one party that's associated with someone in the federal government.
Mm-hmm.
Pablo Torre, we need you on this. If you're not already on it, get off of Kawhi Leonard. Get off of that because we're on to something else. We need you on this.
Mm-hmm.
So. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we'll see what happens with that, with Jeannie Buss contesting it, and they're saying that she may not have the leverage. So I want to see
If
what
it,
happens. I
yeah.
think it's bad. Now we know why LeBron left.
Yeah, I thought about that too, but I'm just kind of curious as to why you would want to own the Lakers, right? And so if the political leanings of I think people have talked previously about Iger's political leanings. But if Josh Kushner's leanings are similar, right, as his brothers, I just don't understand why you pick the Lakers. I mean, I guess just from a purely business standpoint, okay. But yeah, I just don't think that LA, maybe people are silently conservative, but I think the Lakers brand and the players and the season ticket holders are going to want a certain caliber of talent, and they're going to want the product to be focused on entertainment. And I don't think that any shifts to the brand or any shifts to the entertainment aspect of the brand and the experience, that they're going to tolerate that. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think it's just so funny that it seems to be a path, right? It's like become a millionaire, become a billionaire, and then buy you a piece of a team. And I
Yeah,
mean,
they want the Lakers because it's Showtime. It's late, but it's not the same Lakers. It's not no Magic Johnson Lakers, but
yeah,
it's still got the name. It's got the valuation. It's got the name. It's got the brand. It's built in.
yeah.
It's a big city, a big market team. So, but yeah, I'm sure we'll talk more about that as these uh, uh, things develop. So it'll be interesting to see. But um, shout out to our listeners, our watchers, our subscribers. We're over 800 followers on Facebook alone. So we really thank the community, our listeners, for supporting us and commenting and letting us know what you like and what you want to hear more of, and get debating with us a little bit. We don't mind that. Be respectful, because the block game is strong. A shout out to the listeners that may not comment. They talk to us in person, like my brother-in-law Carl, and my friend Frank was telling me what the Pistons were up to, and so shout out to people that follow and support us and help us along the way. So make sure you subscribe and like and post and share and engage with us and tell us what you want to hear. Ask us questions that you want us to answer. And we will respond. And we love the engagement. So thank you very much. We really appreciate you all. And that's a wrap. But I want to say, we are Aunties Talk Sports. We are two aunties, two mics, all game.
Okay. Peace.
Thanks again for spending some time with us. This has been another episode of Aunties Talk Sports. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share the show with your fellow sports fans. It really helps us grow our community. Have a question, a hot take, or a topic you'd like us to cover? We would love to hear from you. Email us at auntiestalksports@gmail.com or connect with us on social media at Aunties Talk Sports. Aunties Talk Sports is a podcast hosted by Jennifer Bright and KB Gaston. Find us on socials at jbright713 and at KB Gaston. Aunties Talk Sports is recorded in Detroit and produced by Danerco at Danerco on socials. Thanks again for listening. Until next time, two aunties, two mics, all game.